We're very fortunate to have in the studio with us a lady who's involved with an organization that, and I'm very familiar with them. I read up on them, and it's just, I think they do an incredible job, but we need to get the word out. But More Than Wheels. They have a website, morethanwheels.org. We have Debby Miller, the executive director, with us in the studio.
Good morning.
And good morning to you. And you got in okay? The road's not too bad.
I did. It wasn't too bad this morning, Konrad.
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
More Than Wheels, and I think, and we were just talking about this, I think if you were to say, here's an organization that'll help you get a car, and the average person's initial reaction would be, oh, isn't that great? Wouldn't you give somebody a car? And hence the name More Than Wheels. It is more than getting somebody a car. But people find themselves in situations either by doing dumb things or incorrect things or just by situations find themselves with a car that no matter what you do, the thing you just barely keep it on the road. I had one like those years ago, and the mechanic, an old gentleman in Concord, he finally told me, he said, it's like the doctor coming out of the the operating room. He said, I've done all I can do. Get rid of it. But you need a car. It's not like just tooling around town and having fun. You need wheels. You got to get your kids to the doctors. You got things to do. You got to go to work. What is More Than Wheels? What is it? I mean, what's the program about?
Well, I think, Konrad, you just painted the picture really well about what goes on here. In New Hampshire, a car is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Like you said, it's the way people get to work. It's the way they take their children to doctor appointments and that type thing. And so. We see people all the time that basically have, like you said, fallen on hard times. Sometimes, this is self-induced. Sometimes it's an event that happens in their lives. And, I don't think a second thought about getting up in the morning and starting my car and whether it will start or not. But people worry about that. Right. They worry about that. And if you put on top of that, people know they need another car, but they can't afford to get another car because, their credit is in a bad place. And so, so their alternative is to get into a high interest rate, loan.
Buy here, pay here.
And the vehicle 9 times out of 10 is not reliable, and it usually breaks down on them, before they, before 30 days are up. You
got to be careful. They had a business. In the Manchester area quite a few years ago, and they finally grabbed this guy who was selling used cars, and he was putting sawdust in the transmission to do whatever, get you to sell it, and you can drive it down the street, and that was about it.
Absolutely.
Let's get to the nuts and bolts of it. Somebody's in a situation, they say, well, how are you going to help me? I can't afford, nobody's going to give me a car loan.
Exactly.
This is where you come in, and there's a process which we need to hit. More Than Wheels is you're getting people back on track. It's an educational process and a loan acquiring process.
Right. So what we do is we help people purchase reliable, worry-free vehicles at low interest rates, and I stress the low interest rates. But what we do at the same time is help people get back on track financially and help them. We have what we call a credit repair program where we help them address their credit issues. We have a financial education program, and we help them establish positive payment history as well. We have community-minded lenders that we work with, and we have
actual banks, credit unions,
yeah. And we have locally,
yeah.
So for instance, St. Mary's Bank is one of our biggest lenders. They've been wonderful. And then we have community-minded dealers, right. Car dealers that have agreed to cut the profits of their car so that they could sell them to our clients. The cars are newer, gently used cars. They're gently used meaning 2 to 3 year old cars, or new, and so they're reliable and they're warranted, and so they protect people's budgets. And keep
so you
them.
can't get them into a car that's going to end up costing them.
That's exactly right.
You've just did everything you tried to do.
Absolutely right. And so, and our interest rates, by the way, are we help people get into interest rate between 3% and 5%. Whereas, if they went to if they have bad credit, they have to pay upwards of 36%. That's the highest rate you can pay in New Hampshire. So that's a huge difference.
I had one over 18% one time, and I told that to people, and they kept laughing at me. So 36%.
That's the cap in New Hampshire.
Lord. Yeah. We're talking to Debby Miller, executive director of More Than Wheels. It's a New England based in Boston, and also here in New Hampshire. You're headquartered right here in Manchester. You work with people everywhere. We talk to folks central New Hampshire to the seacoast, but it doesn't matter. You still work with them, and you have an actual class that people take a class, and even if you're in bankruptcy,
right?
You've got to get them to a point where they can do a budget. They can show they can pay for a car. You also have a bridge program, so if they need something immediately, you have a car that they essentially rent or lease through you, cars that are donated, and then you get them to a point where they can buy a car.
Right. So you're absolutely right. We do have what we call a temporary transportation program. Whereas if someone is in need of a vehicle right away, we have vehicles that. By the way, we need donation of cars. By the way, we use donated cars to refurbish them to put back into the program to help people with that. So I want to put a plug in for donations. If you want to donate your car, you can call More Than Wheels.
Okay,
as well.
What's the? I know you got your website, morethanwheels.org. What's the phone number?
You can call us at 866-455-2522.
And if somebody wants to get into the program, if they're curious about it, you have a little screening process.
We do. You can call us at the 866-455-2522, or you can go on the website as well, and you can make application to us. It costs nothing. Costs nothing to apply to see if you're eligible, and it's not an income limit program, so you can make $15,000 or you can make $100,000. So we're more interested in helping people get back on their feet from a credit standpoint.
And one of the best ways to rebuild your credit, okay, and you got to do it, is make those car payments.
Absolutely.
To a legitimate lending source, a credit union or a bank.
Great point.
And then you're back on track, and before you know it, you're buying a house and
absolutely,
a car and 2 cars and boat.
There you go.
But don't get in trouble again. They don't want you to do that. Debbie, we're just about out of time. It goes
that
by
was
pretty
quick.
fast. It does go by quick, and that's why we try to get the information out there. Morethanwheels.org. Get in touch with them, especially if you're a car to donate.
Absolutely.
The bridge program is an interim program. They'll explain it all to you, and if you need some help with that, they'll talk to you.
Great.
And they'll get you back on track. And Debbie, I appreciate you coming in the studio.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, listen, thank you for what you're doing. And remember, it's not a handout. A lot of people say, they just give them a car. No, they don't give you a car. They give you a hand up, get you back on track, so you're not making bad decisions or getting into a situation that's hopeless.
Great.
They're helping. They're giving people hope.
Absolutely.
Which is a very nice thing. Thank you very much.
Thank
Debbie
you.
Miller from More Than Wheels.